Well, we have one viewer, which is us. You're like, I feel so good. So we'll give people a chance. I just sent the message out to Grandma and that's us on delay. To Grandma and Mom and everyone.
What up?
You did kind of waltz through it there real quick. Don't worry, it's not like I'm zooming in on you. There's someone else. All right, welcome everyone. Or really, probably just one other person besides me. But hi Mom, or whoever it might be. So we'll give it just a few more moments. And then in a moment I'll stop my. Oh, 3. Okay.
Whoa.
All right, I think we're going viral, kids. All right. Let's see. I'm going to kill my own connection. All right. Well, let's see if we can get other direction. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
So we are live with the man of the hour, the legend, the athlete of the family, Aidan Burlingame Lee. And Mom, if you are watching, yeah, you can only watch us. We can't directly interact. So if you want to interact with me, you can send me a text message. All right. We might have a caller later. So, but for now,
All right.
for now. So you did a big thing today.
Mm-hmm.
You biked across the state border.
Yep.
Into Nyssa, Oregon.
Yep.
So first of all, how are you feeling?
Feeling a little sore, but other than that, feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you were telling me earlier that your legs were kind of killing you?
Yeah. Yeah, my legs were killing me a little bit, but they're doing a little better now.
Okay. Well, that's got to be a good feeling, and shower's got to be nice too.
Yeah.
So do you know how long of a bike it was?
It was about 3.5 hours.
Okay. Do you know how many miles?
48.
It's not a bad clip there, realistically.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So what was the best part about the whole thing, besides, of course, crossing the state border? Was there anything else that you really enjoyed?
Probably biking through Meridian and kind of the outskirts of Ada County at sunrise because there's not as much cars around there, and I'm not focused as much on making sure a car doesn't run me over, so I got to actually enjoy the sunrise a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was a pretty sunrise too. So I have not the greatest photo of it, but I have a decent photo of the sunrise. Um, our caller asked if, hi Grandma. uh, Hi Mom. She was wondering if you got A&W.
Not yet, but that's in the plans.
Yeah. So my interpretation, feel free to agree or disagree, is that we got to Nyssa a lot earlier than expected in a good way, but that was bad in the sense that we'd have to wait like almost an hour and a half for the A&W over there to open, and you were hot and sweaty and tired and needed to go to the bathroom, things like that.
Yeah.
So it was we decided to come back here and then um, take care of some of those things, like get a shower, go to the bathroom, and then we'll hit A&W here in the area before too long. So let's see what other questions I have. So, what was the worst part of the whole ordeal?
Checking behind me like every 3 minutes to make sure I didn't have a truck coming at like 60 miles an hour running me off the road.
Yeah,
Or if I did have a car coming, I pulled over, let them by.
yeah. Did you have to worry about that a lot?
Um, Market Road wasn't really as bad, but when I got onto Apple Valley, there was a little more car traffic, so I had to keep an eye on that.
Mm-hmm.
But as I got closer to the Phillips 66, um, that's when the car traffic started to pick up a little bit.
We have a question from another studio member in the audience, and that is Rebecca Burlingame Lee. Hi.
Hi.
Howdy.
So far away.
So-
She's off camera, but she's only about maybe 10 feet away. Um, she was wanting to know, have you learned anything from this experience?
Well, one of the things too is when the 3 miles there, sometimes you just got to push through the rough stuff. Like those last 3 miles, and my legs were twitching a little bit and getting really sore. Part of me was just tempted to radio up for backup to come pick me up, but I was like, it would be such a shame to be 3 miles out and have to call for backup. So I was like, we'll just wait a minute, let your legs settle down. If we need to, walk it a little bit, and then we'll hop back on. So that was one of the biggest things, is persevering through times where it may seem like you want to quit, but going through it.
Yeah. So we had another question from an audience member. Hi, Grandma. And she was wondering if you think that you would like to do it again sometime.
Yeah, I think I would absolutely do it again. Probably not this summer because it's going to get hotter and hotter as the summer goes, but maybe next spring I might do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was kind of a good tactic, at least today in particular, for you to get up early so you didn't have to worry about traffic and then you didn't have to worry about the heat. Because I think when we were done, it was starting to get to about 75, which is not terrible, but it's starting to get a little.
Yeah.
I'm sure from your perspective it was a little tough. I mean, I'm sitting in the car with air conditioning, so I didn't have to suffer too much. But
Yeah, and I also noticed on the ride back, traffic along those rural roads were starting to really pick up.
yeah. Yeah. So do you want to walk us through the route? Like maybe not like every literal twist and turn, but just kind of like where you started, some of the maybe major scenic features, such as they are, like where you stopped for like a rest break or a refueling break, things like that.
Yeah, so I went ahead and started here at Royal Park, and then worked my way out on McMillan Road, and then went by Owyhee High School, and then went on Ustick, and then went by Ridgeview High School on Linden, and then really Caldwell wasn't too adventurous. Got through Caldwell, and then ended up at the route at the Stinker Station along 95/26, and that was where I had my first rest break. Rest there for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then continued it down 95/26 more till about Hop Road. Once I got to Hop Road, went on the rural roads all the way up to Market Street, and then took Market Street all the way down to the Phillips 66 in Parma. Rested there for about another 10 to 15 minutes, fueled up, and then took 4th Street out of Parma onto Clara Road, which then turned into Apple Valley Road, and then Apple Valley Road onto 2695 again, across the state line into Nyssa.
Yeah, and crossing the state line is pretty cool because you go across a bridge and across the Snake River, and that was maybe not as picturesque as I was hoping, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So how did you prepare for this? Like, and I guess even before you answer that, what kind of inspired you to try this?
Well, I had a failed attempt back in 2020 when I went along with some friends, and I was like, only made it to notice. So then I was like, I want to try it again sometime. And then this was while I was still back in high school, so I didn't really have such a big commute. But I want
Sorry, we have a little fight in the audience here between two cats.
to really the way I prepped is using those bike rides to BSU. It laid a really good foundation, but then a month beforehand, biked along the Greenbelt all the way down to Lucky Peak Reservoir, and then from Lucky Peak Reservoir back home, and that was about roughly 44 miles. And then I'd also include some hills along U Stick to help prep for the steady inclines. But the hills along Market Road, I was not as prepared for as I thought I would be. But if I want to go down those hills again, I may have to go out to like Cuna to get something similar.
Yeah. So is that how you, if you did do something like this again, is that how you prep a little more? Is worry a little more about the hills and the elevation change?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So distance wise, I feel like I'm pretty good at, but I'd really focus more on those elevation changes in those hills.
Mm-hmm.
And then also during the strength and conditioning program that I made for myself with doing cleans and squats and working out in the home gym at least 2 to 3 times a week really helped to build that strength base.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering if maybe you could talk to me a little more about like how you plan the route itself. Like, I know last night we kind of had like a mission briefing,
Mm-hmm.
and I could tell that you had very thoroughly mapped it all out. And I was just wondering if maybe you want to go into some detail on that.
Yeah, so with route planning, I really kind of used the previous route that I had before, and then I factored in road closures because out west of Meridian, it seems like there's at least 1 or 2 roads closed always. So I
Mm-hmm.
planned around that and built the route basically kind of the way that I did before with Notice, but the only difference is I scrutinized the route a little bit more to see if I could find smaller roads that I could go down so that I'm not stuck on 2695 the whole way there because cars fly by at like 65 to 85 miles an hour. And
Mm-hmm.
so I decided we'll look at the back road, see if Market Street, where the gas station is in Parma, connects with any of those other back roads near Notice. Then I found Hop Street, which connects to Market Road, and then took Market Road to Parma. And then I also checked out Clar Road, which was next to US 2695, and basically ran parallel and went ahead and seen if I could find something where they lined up and was way less busy compared to 2695. Because the original route that I had would be having me bike along 2695 the whole way. But I was like, I want to see if I can factor in safety a little bit more and see if I can find some smaller roads that roughly mimic the way that I would go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I guess one big question is, I'm sure it felt really good, but did you want to go into some detail about like right when you're crossing the state line and just about coming into Nyssa proper? How were you feeling? What was your reaction?
One of the first reactions in my mind was like, man, you are so close to being this done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And but also like I actually did it this time that I actually made it across the state line and was honking my horn like in and basically um, was like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah. Sorry, it looks like we had a little camera issue. Okay. So, yeah, that must have been a really good feeling.
Yeah, it felt really good because I was wanting to get to Nyssa before back in the days, but didn't able to do it. So in a way, I kind of felt like revenge for what I wasn't able to do before.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm just gonna double check the audio real quick. Okay, I think we're still okay.
Yeah, I think good.
So, all right. So, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Um, I did not factor in the hills as much, and I kind of ran into one wrench along the route, which was when I was biking down Linden. Linden closed roughly near Aviation Way, so I had to go down another road and then by the park, and which then connected me to Aviation Way. So that was kind of a last.
Mm-hmm.
So
Kind of had to adjust on the fly.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
so
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap it up?
fun ride in general, and I definitely do it again. Some time off while it's really hot, but I accomplished a big thing that I wanted to do this summer.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, congratulations. I think a lot of us are proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself. We'll try to see if maybe we can have an interview for another reason sometime.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, don't forget to mash like and subscribe, so that way you can be like the third subscriber on the channel. Get in on the ground floor, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, thanks, and hope you all have a great day.